In the car, Mary's cousin Wallace, and they were starting to believe that he was no longer coming after them. With Wallace's scheming over and Todd Baker facing trial for financial crimes against Mary's company, CLM Financial, it seemed as though all of the serious threats against them had been eliminated. Monica asked me to lunch today, Mary said. That's nice. Tell her I said hi. Actually, I was hoping you'd join us. You sure? Ryan asked. You wouldn't rather have a little one-on-one girl time? I got the feeling this was more than a friendly get-together. I think she wants to talk business. That sounds promising. Her family is a pretty major force in the jewelry business. Would be a really good partnership. I agree. So what do you need me for? You can handle a friendly negotiation. I know. I just like getting your input. He smiled. Then I'm in. He dropped her off at the office and killed time in the city for a few hours. It was too cold to wander around the public gardens or the Boston Common, so he went to the public library on Boylston Street, grabbed a book off a shelf, and read quietly for a couple of hours. As it got closer to lunchtime, he walked slowly back to Mary's office at Beacon Hill and waited for her in the lobby. Then, medical assistance needed, arm in arm. Monica was waiting for them by the host stand when they arrived. Hey guys, she said. Ryan, I didn't know you were joining us. Hope that's not a problem. She slapped him playfully on the arm. Of course not. We're practically family. Come on, our table is ready. It's big enough for 3? Mary asked. 4, actually. We've got another person joining us. Mary's eyes widened. Oh, a mystery guest? A handsome gentleman, perhaps? Don't get too excited. It's a professional relationship only. Gotcha. Though he is pretty cute. Monica and Mary laughed. They were shown to their table, and Ryan grabbed a seat while the 2 women had their moment. Then, Monica sat down beside Ryan, and Mary sat across from Monica. So let me get this out of the way, Monica said. This is kind of a business lunch. Mary nodded. I had a feeling. So you're thinking there's a way for Kling Jewelers and CLM to work together? I do. We're actually thinking of doing a big expansion. We recently acquired some new capital, and we think the time is right. This new capital, Ryan said. Would our mystery guest have anything to do with that? Monica put her hand on Ryan's leg and said to Mary, He is so perceptive, and he would have thought you only married him in danger. He has his moments, Mary said. She was smiling, but her eyes couldn't help but going to Monica's hand on Ryan's thigh. Something caught Monica's eye. Oh, he's here. She flagged somebody down. A handsome man with blonde hair and a navy blue suit walked up to their table. But she couldn't quite place him. Monica got up to greet him. Chad, so happy you could make it. Happy to join you, Monica, he said. Chad, this is Mary Quinn and her husband, Ryan. Mary is the CEO of CLM Financial. Mary slipped it up and shook his hand. Chad stiffened up a little and said, Yes, I know who she is. Mary seemed taken aback. Oh, does my reputation precede me? Mary, my name is Chad Baker. I'm Todd Baker's brother. Mary pulled her hand back and stared at him. What? Ryan rose from his seat. Is there a problem here? Monica asked. I'm afraid there is, Chad said. My brother Todd has had some dealings with these two, and I'm sorry to say those dealings did not go well. Oh my. Todd is the one who spread those lies about my company and tried to deceive us, Mary said coldly. Her eyes never even chance.
We don't pass judgment. We don't ask questions.
That was your brother? Monica said to Chad. Chad nodded his head sadly. It was, which is why I requested CLM for this deal. I wanted a chance to try and make it up to them. What makes you think we would believe anything you have to say? Ryan asked. Chad looked Ryan in the eye. Ryan, please understand that I am not my brother. I condemn Todd's actions in the strongest way possible. I can assure you that I conduct my business affairs according to the highest ethical standards. Said Mary, I think we should go. Monica held out her hands to stop them. Don't go yet. Please. Chad and I have been working really hard on this proposal. Can you just listen to what he has to say? Ryan looked over at Mary and shook his head no. Mary bit her lip and said, Okay, we'll listen. But I have to tell you, Chad, it's unlikely we'll be able to work together. I understand that, Mary. But thank you for at least being open to what I have to say. Mary nodded stiffly and sat down. Chad sat in the open seat beside her. Ryan glared at Chad. Not budging. Finally, Monica put her hand on Ryan's back and rubbed his shoulder a couple of times. Come on, Ryan. Let's all have a seat. Ryan relaxed just a little, then sat down across from Chad. Again, Mary couldn't help but notice how Monica's hand seemed to linger just a little too long on her husband's body. Chad noticed it too. He filed it away for later. Mary and Ryan listened politely while Chad went over his business plan. It sounded perfectly legitimate. Then again, so had Todd's plans, until he tried to force himself on Mary and ruin her company. So that's it, Chad said, clapping his hands together. That's our plan. We think we can help Kling Jewelers expand into new markets, and we think CLM Financial is the company to get us there. What do you say? Mary thought about it, then said, You've made some excellent points. Ryan and I will need a little time to think about it. Take all the time you need, Mary. I just hope we're able to make this partnership work. Mary nodded tightly, then motioned to Ryan that it was time to go. They both stood up from the table. Well, we have to run. Monica, just text me later and let me know what we owe you for lunch. I'll Venmo it to you. Chad stood up, saying, Please, it's on me. He stuck his hand out toward Mary. She reluctantly took it. It was a pleasure to meet you, Mary. I hope to see you again very soon. She nodded at him. Then she and Ryan left. Ryan walked Mary back to her office. They didn't speak about the meeting until he was driving her home at the end of the day. We can't trust him, Ryan said suddenly. I know it's not fair to judge a person by their family, but even so, we can't trust him. Mary was staring out the window. She didn't answer. Mary? Yeah, I heard you. You're not thinking of going through with this deal, are you? I don't know. She went quiet again. Hey, something else bothering you? She shook her head. You sure? I'm sure. Well. They drove home in silence. The following day, Mary called Monica to say that they could move forward with the deal as long as Chad Baker was attached. Monica was upset. "I'm sorry," Mary told her, "but if you knew even half of the things that his brother did to us, you'd understand." "Yeah, I get it," Monica said. "But that doesn't mean your idea for expansion can't still happen. There are plenty of financial firms in Boston. I'm sure you'll find one that you can partner with." "I know. I was just really looking forward to working with you. And Ryan." Mary's back stiffened when she heard Monica and Ryan. She didn't know why they bother her, but she couldn't deny that she was feeling jealous. The way you hope that she thought about being up with Ryan for dinner. Those plans were dashed when they got home. Mary's mother, Martha, went up to them as they stepped inside the house. "Oh, good. You're both home." Ryan blinked at her. "Since when are you happy to see me?" "Don't start with me, mister. We have company." "Oh? Who's here?"
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Chad Baker stepped into the living room and waved at them. "Hey guys, good to see you again." Mary glared at Chad Baker as he waved at her and Ryan from the living room. "Mother, what is he doing here?" Mary asked Martha. "Is that any way to greet our guest?" Martha asked. "Guest? After everything his brother did to us, you welcome him in our home as a guest?" "Oh, grow up, Mary. That was his brother, not him. Chad has very graciously come here to apologize for Todd and try to find a way to make it up to us." "I don't believe this," Mary said, shaking her head. Chad stepped into the foyer and held his hands up. "Look, I didn't come here to upset anyone. Quite the opposite. Like Martha said, I'm really hoping I can find a way to make things right between us." "You shouldn't have just shown up like this, Chad," Ryan said. "I think you need to leave. Now." Martha put her hands on her hips. "Excuse me, mister. Whose house is this? You do not get to decide who stays or goes here. If anyone should be leaving, it's you."
You never know when more would show up.
Yo. "Well,
Access unlocked.
you married a man with no ambition who follows you around like a puppy looking for table scraps. And now he's trying to tell me who I can and cannot invite into my home?" "I'm asking you to think of your daughter," Ryan said. "You know what Todd Baker put her through. He didn't just try to destroy her company. He tried to assault her. Don't you care about her feelings? How dare you question my love for my oldest daughter?" "Please, everyone, don't argue," Chad said. He turned to face Ryan. "You're right, Ryan. What Todd did was inexcusable, and maybe it was wrong for me to show up here like this. But you and Mary left so fast after lunch that I didn't get a chance to fully apologize. Can we please sit down and talk about all this? I don't want there to be any more bad blood between our families." Mary crossed her arms and clenched her jaw, refusing to look at Chad or her mother. "Well, I say he stays," Martha said. "Chad, I would love it if you would join us for dinner. Mary, Ryan, you can leave if you want." Mary shook her head, then said, "Fine, he can stay for dinner. Chad, say what you have to say tonight. I'll try to keep an open mind." That's my girl, Martha said. Mary and Ryan went to their room to freshen up. When they came downstairs, the dining room table was set with Chinese delivery for the four of them. They sat down and started serving themselves. Chad said, I just wanted to thank you for letting me sit here tonight. I know that my brother put you through a terrible ordeal. I want to assure you that my entire family is deeply ashamed of his actions. What's happening with Todd now? Mary asked. He's awaiting trial for the crimes he committed against CLM. In the meantime, he's been living at home with our parents. To be honest, well, he's not doing well. Good, Ryan said, digging into his meal. Oh, poor Todd, Martha said, shaking her head. To go from being seen to sitting around wondering if you're going to wind up in prison. It must be terrible. Mother, you can't actually feel sympathy for that monster, can you?
Supply room access.
Agent,
He's still
hostiles are
a person,
retaliating in
Mary.
southwest.
Chad rested his hand on top of Martha's. No. No. Your daughter has a point, Mrs. Lowell. Todd made his own bed. Now he has to lie. Martha nodded her head earnestly. Ryan rolled his eyes and kept eating. So what is it you hope to accomplish by coming here tonight, Chad? Mary asked. What is it you think you can do to make up for your brother's actions? Well, for starters, there's the deal with Kling Jewelers. I know one business deal doesn't make up for everything that's happened, but I think it's a start. And if that goes well, there may be others. I think I can help CLM Financial grow to become the premier financial institution in New England. Maybe you could even expand on a national level. Martha rubbed her hands together. Oh, did you hear that, Mary? A national organization. Chad held up his hands. Of course, I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves. One step at a time and all that. But I definitely think your company could take a big leap with the right partnerships. Ryan wiped his mouth and threw his napkin onto his plate. You're forgetting one thing, Chad. We don't trust you. I understand that, Ryan. Which is why I wanted to start small, working with Kling Jewelers. You know, Monica thinks the world of you two. She seemed particularly impressed with you, Ryan. She wouldn't stop talking about how smart and capable and charismatic you were. She's really taken a liking to you. Mary's body tensed up again at the mention of Monica and Ryan. Mary has already told Monica we won't be agreeing to the deal, Ryan said. I know. I'm hoping you'll reconsider. Oh, please reconsider, Mary, Martha said. Think of the potential. Mary sat silently, refusing to answer. Chad looked around the table, then drew his chair back and stood up. I fear I may be overstaying my welcome. Thank you all for a lovely evening, and for allowing me to say my piece. Mary, if you change your mind about the Kling Jewelers deal, please let me know. Martha saw Chad to the door and sent him off. When she came back to the table, Ryan was cleaning up the dishes. Mary was already gone. Where'd she go? Martha asked. Bed. She said she had a headache.
You have to move fast, Agent.
Martha shook her head. The opportunity of a lifetime, and you sit there telling her not to take the deal. I swear, it's like you're a secret agent sent to destroy this family from the inside. She walked out of the kitchen, shaking her head sadly. Ryan smiled to himself and continued cleaning up. The next morning, Mary drove herself to the office, telling Brian she needed some time to work things out in her head. Shortly before lunchtime, her secretary knocked on the door. "Mrs. Quinn, there's a Chad Baker here to see you." Mary put her fingertips to her temples. "Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Should I send him away?" "No. What's the use? He'll just keep coming back. Send him in." The secretary left and returned a few moments later with Chad, who was carrying a bouquet of flowers. "Mary, I'm sorry. I know I'm the last person you want to see right now." She stood to greet him. "Not dead last, but you're in the area. What is it you want, Chad?" He set the flowers down on her desk. "It would appear I need to make another apology for showing up at your home uninvited last night." "I see. And tomorrow you'll come by apologizing for showing up today. And then the next day, and the next day, and the next? Is that your plan?" Chad smiled sheepishly. "I'm a persistent man, Mary. It's what's gotten me this far in the business world." Mary picked up the flowers and held them out to him. "The answer is no, Chad. I haven't even asked the question yet. Whatever it is, the answer is no. No to the Kling jewelry deal, no to the next deal, and no to the deal after that. I'm sorry, but what my husband said last night is true. We don't trust you." "I see," Chad said, taking back the flowers. "Pity. There is a rather large opportunity coming up. A huge opportunity, actually. I was hoping to let you in." Mary didn't answer her. "Very well. Even I know when to take a hint. I'll leave you to your work." He turned to go, then stopped in the doorway. "What's going on between Monica and
Reinforcements en route.
he asked abruptly.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Mary stammered for a moment before answering. What do you think? Together? Working together? Working together on what? I'm not sure. When I spoke with Monica, she made it sound like they've been seeing a lot of each other these days. I assumed it was work-related." Mary's mouth moved up and down, but she couldn't find the words. Maybe I misunderstood. Sorry. I'll be on my way. And I apologize again. I'll try not to make a habit of it." He turned and left the office. Mary sat down behind her desk and stared out the window. The question Chad had asked kept repeating in her mind. What's going on between Monica and Brian? Mary drove home from work, unable to get Chad Baker's words out of her head. What's going on between Monica and Brian? It was the question that had been eating away at Mary since she saw the two of them at lunch. She just hadn't dared to put it into words. What's going on between Monica and Brian? She thought of Monica's hand on Ryan's knee, and the way it seemed to linger there just a second too long. She thought of how Monica had rubbed his arm to calm him down when Chad Baker first appeared, and how her touch seemed to soothe him. She shook her head to clear the images. She was being silly, she told herself. Those were just friendly gestures. How many times had she touched somebody's leg or shoulder as an innocent sign of affection? Still, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was going on. Mary came home and found her mother Martha waiting for her in the living room. "Oh, good. You're home," Martha said. She waved at Mary to come closer. "Come in and sit down. I need to talk to you about something." "Give me a second to breathe, Mother. I just walked in the door. She slid off her purse, took off her coat, and hung them both in the closet. Then she kicked off her heels and joined her mother in the living room. Where's Ryan? Is he home? I don't care. Mary, why did you blow off Chad Baker today? Mary rolled her eyes. Oh, Mother, you've been talking to Chad again? He told me. He said he showed up to your office to tell you about a major deal he has in the works. You wouldn't give him the time of day. That's right. I'm not interested in Chad Baker or any of his deals. Mary, Chad could take our family's company to levels we've only dreamed about. So says Chad. How do we know what he's saying is true? How can we believe anything that he tells us? Why are you being so stubborn? Chad Baker is not his brother Todd. Chad is bending over backwards to make things right, and you won't give him the slightest chance to prove himself. No, I won't. I want nothing to do with Chad Baker or any member of his family. That's fine. She stood up and headed out of the living room. But Mary, Martha called. Mary kept walking and went up the stairs to her room. Half an hour later, Ryan came in. Mary was lying on the bed in sweatpants and a t-shirt, reading something on her laptop. Hey, sweetie, Ryan said. How was your day? Fine. Ryan stopped in his tracks. Uh-oh. It was fine, Ryan. Not everything I say is a code. He held up his hands in surrender. Okay, sorry. Your day was fine. He went into the bathroom to freshen up. When he came back into the room, Mary said, Chad Baker came by the office today. Ryan shook his head. The guy's persistent. I'll give him that. He wanted to talk about another business deal. Something big, he said. And what did you say? I told him to shove off. Atta girl, Ryan said. He started to leave the room. Where were you just now? Mary asked. Oh, I went to see Monica. I thought it might be good to smooth things over with her. Let her know that us not taking the deal had nothing to do with her. Mary slammed her laptop shut. The room fell silent as she crossed her arms and looked away from him. Ryan slowly approached the bed. Okay, what is going on? That's what I'd like to know, she said, turning to his bed. Sorry, but I'm a little lost right now. I hear you and Monica have been spending a lot of time together. So much so that people are talking. Who's talking? She hesitated for a moment, then shook her head, opened her laptop again, and said, It doesn't matter. Oh, I think it does matter. I think it matters a lot. Who is talking? And who told you that we have been spending a lot of time together? Mary didn't answer him. Mary, did Chad Baker tell you that? She kept staring at the laptop, but Ryan could tell she wasn't really looking at what was on the screen. Oh, come on. Do you remember what happened the last time one of the Baker boys tried to convince you I was cheating? Please tell me you're not falling for this again. Mary slowly closed the computer. Chad is not his brother. No, don't even try that. That's your mother talking. Mary looked down. I know. That was stupid. I saw the two of you at lunch the other day, and you looked so comfortable together, and he walked to the other side of the bed and slid in next to her. Mary, look at me. There is nothing going on between Monica and me. Don't let Chad Baker over her head, okay? She nodded slowly. Okay. Ryan left her alone in the room. Mary did her best to put her suspicions out of her head. He was right. They'd seen this playbook before. The Bakers couldn't be trusted. The next day, Ryan drove Mary into work as usual. Around lunchtime, Mary's secretary knocked on her door. Mrs. Quinn? Mary buried her head in her hands. Oh no, not again. I'm sorry, but I'm not doing this today. Tell Chad Baker he has to go, please. It's not Chad Baker, ma'am. It's your mother. Mary's head shot up. My mother? Here? Yes, ma'am. Should I tell her you're in a meeting? No, of course not. Send her in, please. The secretary left. Martha came in a few moments later as Mary rose to greet her. Hello, Mother. This is a nice surprise. Martha's face was stern. She closed the door to Mary's office. Have a seat, young lady. Mary flinched at her mother's abrupt tone. She sat down in one of the chairs in front of her desk. Okay, what's the problem, Mom? Martha sat down and stared at Mary for a beat. Your father built this company. He worked day and night trying to establish himself. He made this place the respectable business that it is today. I know that. Now you have an opportunity to take this company to a level that he only dreamed of. And you're letting it slip away. Mary got up from her chair and walked over to the window. Oh, Mother. Not this again. Yes.
Watch out. There's a kill squad in the area.
Again. I've spoken to Chad Baker and he's told me what he's planning to do. You need to get on board with this. Mother. The company is doing great. We've got partnerships with the Quinn Organization and Barrington Enterprises.
We need to retreat.
Martha jumped out of her seat. Small potatoes. Yes, they've given us some solid backing, but they're not helping you get to the next level. We don't need Chad Baker, and I won't work with him. I'm sorry, but this discussion is over. Well, I'm sorry, because the discussion is just beginning. In fact, we are meeting with Chad and several prominent business leaders for lunch at May Masson. What? When? Now, young lady, get your things and come with me.
Just cheated me.
Mary stood her ground. I'm not going anywhere.
The area
Fine.
is partially
Then I'll
secured.
meet with them
They just
myself.
cheated me. They keep
Meet
talking
with
about I
whoever
get
you
them
want.
off and shit and
I
bring
won't
them
sign
back in.
off on any deals. But your father will. He still owns the place, and he'll do what I tell him to do. Mary put her hands down on her desk and shook her head. You're unbelievable. You would invite the Baker family back into our lives after they tried to destroy us? I'm doing this for your own good. For everybody's good. Now come on. We don't want to be late. The room fell silent. Finally, Mary said, Okay, Mother. You win. I'll meet with them. But if I don't like what I hear, I'm walking. And don't think for a moment that I'm just going to sit by and let you bully Daddy into signing any deals without my consent. Martha nodded sternly. Fine. She turned and opened the door. Let's go. She and Martha arrived at Ma Maison, a high-end French restaurant. They checked in with the host and were guided to a private dining room in the back. Chad was waiting along with 3 older men in expensive suits. He stood up when the ladies entered the room. Mary, you came. I'm so delighted you had a change of heart. Nothing's changed, Chad, she said coldly. And shame on you for sicking my mother on me like that. I apologize, Mary, but I wouldn't have been able to live with myself if I didn't do everything I could to get you to join us. Won't you please sit down? From the doorway, a voice called out. Is there room for one more? Chad's smile twisted into something more like a sneer. Ryan, so happy you could join us. Ryan faced off with Chad Baker while everyone at the table watched. What is he doing here? Martha asked. She pointed at Mary. Did you tell him we were coming to this place? Actually, I invited him, Chad said. You? Why? What does he have to do with any of this? He's just my useless son-in-law. Neither, Mary said. Chad held out his hand. Now, Martha. No need to get upset. There's plenty of room at the table. Ryan, thank you for joining us. We're delighted to have you. Ryan sat down beside Mary while Martha glared at him. Mary whispered in his ear. Oh, what are you doing here? Your mother had to basically blackmail me to come to this thing. I know. Baker told me he was sent to Martha. And I know how convinced he should. I figured I'd better come down here, provide you some backup. Well, I'm glad you're here. I know Chad is up to something. Just don't know what. Chad spoke from the head of the table to the assembly of business owners. Thank you all for coming today. You men and women represent some of the most successful organizations in Boston. But I believe by working together, we can achieve things on a much bigger scale. That all sounds great, young man, one of the four older men in the expensive suit said. But we're all heads of mid-level companies, and some of us are in direct competition with each other. Even if we agreed to join forces, how could we hope to compete with companies like the Quinn Organization or Barrington Enterprises? I'm glad you asked. That actually brings me to my first point. Excuse me, a voice said from the door. Am I too late for the meeting? Chad walked over to the door. No, you're right on time. Please, come in. We're just getting started.
Target near you.
Chad led an older man in a crisp suit with a bow tie into the room. Ryan immediately recognized him. Mr. Kling? He said. The old man looked at Ryan and smiled. Ryan, so good to see you again. You two know each other? Mary asked. Ryan said, Mary, this is Jeb Kling, the owner of Kling Jewelers. He's Monica's grandfather. Mary stood up to greet him. Oh, Mr. Kling, so wonderful to meet you. Monica and I are old friends. Nice to meet you as well, Jeb said. And who are you? Ryan smiled shyly. I'm sorry, Jeb. Where are my manners? This is my wife, Mary. The old man looked confused. Your wife? Yes. Monica's told me so much about you, Mary said. Jeb shook his head. I don't understand. Ryan, I thought you were dating my granddaughter. Oh, no, Jeb. Monica and I are just friends. But what about the ring? I'm sorry? The ring you asked me to pick out. The one you wanted to give to my granddaughter? All eyes turned to Ryan. Jeb, I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about. I never asked you to pick out any ring. You most certainly did. We spoke on the phone not 2 days ago. Martha slammed her fists on the table. That's it. She stood, rising from her seat. She pointed at Ryan as she made her way to the door. you outside now. Ryan followed her out of the room. Mary went with them. Martha led them through the restaurant and out onto the street. She turned sharply toward Ryan. You timing sleeves. How dare you abuse my daughter like this? Martha, it's not true. I never called him to talk about me. I only ever met him one time. I don't want to hear it. You've gone too far this time. Mary, how can you just stand up for her and is having an affair with your best friend? Ryan looked Mary in the eye. Mary, it's not true. I already told you there's nothing going on between Monica and me. He already told you? Martha said. So this has come up a full quarter? You suspected he was sleeping with Monica? Well, this just confirms it. Mary, you need to throw this bum out on the street. Mary, please. Mary put her fingers to her temples and walked a few paces away. I don't know what to think, Ryan. I mean, Jeb seemed so upset. He said you called him and spoke to him about a ring. Are you saying he's lying? No. Somebody's lying to him. Somebody called him pretending to be me. Who? Chad, of course. Martha threw her hands in the air. Oh, right. Chad Baker called that old man pretending to be you. What? Is Chad some master impressionist? You think he can imitate any voice he wants? Jeb and I only met one time for a few minutes. He wouldn't have remembered what I sounded like well enough to know he was talking to an imposter. Plus, he's an old man. His hearing probably isn't what it used to be. I've heard enough. Mary and I are going back into that restaurant to finish our meeting. As for you, I want you out of my house by the end of this week. Come on, Mary. Martha stormed back into the restaurant. Ryan watched Mary closely as she paced around the sidewalk. Mary, you know this is a lie. You know it. This is the same thing that happened with Carrie. Remember? Todd showed you those photos and made you think I was having an affair with your sister. Now, Chad is trying to do the same thing with Monica. Mary nodded her head. I know. I believe you, Ryan. I do. But now I have an image problem. What do you mean? Even though we proved you and Carrie weren't having an affair, a lot of people who've heard about it still believe it. And now, if rumors start going around that you're sleeping with my best friend, it will look like a pattern. Everyone will think that where there's smoke, there's fire. So let them think that. What do we care? Like I said, image. It will make me look vulnerable. If people think I'm being taken advantage of in my marriage, they'll think they can take advantage of me in business. They stared at each other helplessly on the sidewalk. I should go back in there and get my mother before she does something stupid, Mary said. You should probably get out. Dumb. If she sees you right now, things are just going to get uglier. She reached out and took his hand, gave it a squeeze, then turned and went into the restaurant. Back in the private room, Martha was pleading her case with Chad Baker. I'm so sorry for all the trouble that good-for-nothing son-in-law of mine caused. I promise you, he does not represent our values. Well, let's not jump to judgment, Martha. Perhaps Ryan was telling the truth. Maybe this is all just some misunderstanding. You would know, wouldn't you, Chad? Mary said, entering the room. Mary, watch your tongue, Martha scolded. Chad put on his most innocent face. I assure you, Mary, that whatever is going on, it has nothing to do with me. I'm just as shocked as anyone to hear these accusations. Oh, I'm sure you are, Mary said sarcastically. Come on, Mother, we're leaving. I'm not leaving, Martha said. I came here for a business meeting. Mother, after everything that's just happened, you still want to see for a business meeting? Chad put his fingertips to his lips. Actually, your daughter does have a point, Martha. What do you mean? Martha asked. Well, the deal I'd like to propose is a high-risk, high-reward proposition. We can't afford any public scandals among the companies involved. I'm afraid that, as long as Ryan Quinn is a member of your family, we will not be able to do business with any of you. Martha gasped. But... Mary took Martha by the hand. Did you hear that, Mother? They don't want to do business with us. Let's go. Mary dragged Martha out of the private dining room. Chad smiled as he watched them leave.
System disrupted.
One of the executives at the dining room table said, You know, CLM Financial has the backing of both the Quinn organization and Barrington Enterprises. I think that would make them more of an asset to our little group than a liability. Chad slowly toward the man. Correction, sir. CLM Financial has the backing of the Quinn Organization and Barrington Enterprises for now. But I have a feeling that their fortunes are about to take a downward turn. Martha paced angrily around the living room of her home in Wellesley. It was her usual habit when she was upset about something. Mary did the only thing she could in those situations. She sat quietly and said nothing. This is a disaster, Mary. A disaster. Martha rubbed her forehead. The deal of a lifetime right in our grasp, and now it's slipping through our fingers. Mary shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Martha stopped pacing and glared at her. What? You've got something you want to say? Just waiting for you to tell me what you'd like me to do. Don't get smart, young lady. You know exactly what you need to do. Why don't you just tell me anyway? Divorce him. Divorce the problem. And there it is. Martha sat down next to her daughter. Mary, listen to me. What you did to him is just dragging you down. You heard what Chad said. As long as there are scandals surrounding us, we're toxic. No one will want to do business with us. And with your husband around, there are always scandals. Scandals that were caused by Todd Baker. And now his brother Chad is doing the same thing. Can't you see it? The Baker family is out to destroy us. I don't believe that. In fact, I don't even blame Todd for some of the things that he did. Mother, he tried to assault me. He tried to destroy our family's company. Because he was pushed to it by your husband. The front door opened. Ryan walked in. Oh, speak of the devil, Martha said, rising from the couch. Should I come back at another time? He asked. You should leave and not come back at all. Do you know that you cost us that deal today? Not to mention the small matter that you're cheating on my daughter. No one is cheating on anyone, Mother, Mary said. This was all arranged by Chad. Oh, sure. Take his side. You always do. What did I do to deserve this kind of treatment? All I've ever wanted to do was protect this family. Martha put her hand to her chest as crocodile tears glistened in the corner of her eyes. Mother, please. Enough of this. I won't stand here and be ganged up on by the likes of you two. I'm going out. Tell your father I'll be home later tonight. Where are you going? It's getting dark out. I'm a grown woman. I'm perfectly capable of driving in the dark. Goodbye. Martha grabbed her keys and her coat and slammed the front door shut on her way out. Ryan sat down heavily on the couch.
Serious trauma
There is
detected.
no big business deal.
Agent
No. At least, not any deal that Chad would let your family be a part of. I know. I just wish I knew what his plan was. Well, you know the first part of the plan. It's divide and conquer. He wants to drive a wedge between the two of us by making you think I'm having an affair. Which, I hope you know, is complete nonsense.
agent killed.
I know. I can see that now. Chad is just as evil as his brother.
System back online.
Good. But he's trying to do more than drive a wedge here. He actually told my mother that as long as you and I were married, no one would do business with us. And Martha bought it? Mary shrugged. She hasn't exactly made it a secret that she wants you and I to get a divorce. Now she has a business reason for it. Terrific. Still, though, how does that help Chad get revenge for his brother? It doesn't. Destroying our relationship is only the first part of his plan. He'll want to destroy your company, too. How? Ryan closed his eyes and rubbed his chin. Then his eyes sprung open. The Quinn organization. He'll try to do something that will make them want to end their
Friendly
partnership
supply
with you.
convoy detected.
You'll really be vulnerable. But you're the Quinn organization. You're the heir to the company. They wouldn't end their partnership with me no matter what Chad tried to do. Exactly, Ryan said, stretching out on the couch. So there's nothing to worry about. Chad's plan is doomed to failure. He just doesn't know it. While Ryan and Mary tried to figure out what Chad Baker was planning, Martha was driving into the city with a plan of her own. She took out her phone and called Chad. Martha, I'm surprised to hear from you. I'm on my way back to the city. Can you meet me? We need to talk. Oh, I don't know, Martha. I mean, I really want to do business with your family, but if Ryan is going to continue to be an embarrassment to you, that's why I need to talk to you. We need to work together on this if we're going to drive him out of my family for good. Chad smiled into his phone. Meet me at the Longfellow in Harvard Square. I'll be waiting for you. The next day, after Ryan drove Mary into work, he walked over to the Quinn organization headquarters and strolled through the vast lobby to the front desk. The receptionist greeted him with a skeptical look. May I help you, sir? I'm just gonna head upstairs and have a quick word with Christopher Rourke. She looked him up and down in his t-shirt and jeans. I'm sorry, sir. Vice President Rourke is a very busy man. Perhaps there's something I can help you with? Ryan smiled at the young lady. You're new here, aren't you? I just started this week. Gotcha. Please tell Mr. Rourke that Ryan is here to see him. Just Ryan? No last name? He winked at her. He'll know who it is. Ryan grabbed a seat in the lobby while the receptionist made a call. In less than 2 minutes, Rourke was hustling out of the elevator, walking over to him. Oh, Ryan, I'm so sorry to make you wait. No worries. Really, sir, if you'd called ahead, I could have greeted you properly. It's fine. It was a spur-of-the-moment thing. The receptionist watched nervously as Christopher Rourke, the Vice President of Mergers and Acquisitions and one of the most powerful men in the Quinn organization, practically groveled in front of this young man in blue jeans and a t-shirt. Mr. Adams, that tightly. The next time you see Mr. Quinn in our building, you are to let him upstairs immediately. Is that understood? Yes, Mr. Rourke, of course. My apologies. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to him. The receptionist's face turned pale. Ryan held up a hand. No apology necessary. You were just doing your job. And a fine job at that. Thank you, sir, she said. Shall we head up to my office? Rourke asked Ryan. This won't take long. Why don't we just chat here in the lobby? Whatever you say, Mr. Quinn. They walked a few paces away from the receptionist, so they wouldn't be overheard. Christopher, Ryan began. Has the Quinn organization been approached with a business proposition for a man named Chad Baker? Rourke blinked at him. Why, yes. Yes, we have. But it's been strange back and forth. How so? Well, originally, he said he was forming some kind of conglomeration that involved your wife's company, CLM Financial. Then, just last evening, he called one of our executives and said there may be some issue with CLM. Something about a public relations problem. I was waiting to hear more before contacting you. Yeah, no need to keep digging. I already know what ER problem he's referring to. Which is another false accusation of adultery being leveled at me. This time, I'm supposedly sleeping with Mary's best friend. I see. Ryan shook his head. I swear, it's like these dummies never learn. What's the thing they say about the Clinton definition of insanity? You mean trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Mm-hmm. Yep. That's it. By that reasoning, these Baker boys are a couple of lunatics. I believe there's a meeting set for tomorrow with Baker and his team. I wasn't planning on attending personally, but I'm happy to step in now if you like. Ryan thought for a moment. No, not you. I need to really put this guy in his place. What time is the meeting tomorrow? 1 o'clock, I believe. Christopher, I'd like you to welcome a very special guest to the building tomorrow. The following day, Chad Baker checked in at the very same reception desk Ryan had visited at the Quinn organization headquarters. He had brought along Jeb Kling and the 4 VIPs that Mary, Martha, and Ryan had met at lunch. May I help you, sir? The receptionist asked. Chad Baker, here to meet with your mergers and acquisitions team. Oh, yes, sir. Actually, there's been a change of venue for your meeting. You'll no longer be meeting in the conference room. We've reserved the executive suite on the top floor. Jeb Kling and the other business leaders nodded at each other, their impression of Chad's abilities rising. Very good, Chad said. Glad to see the Quinn organization recognizes his talent when they see it. The receptionist smiled at him and handed him a special key. You can use this to access the top floor. Show your meeting, sir. Chad winked at her. She opened the security gate, and all 6 men walked through. They piled onto the elevator, and Chad used the executive key to punch in the top floor. The men stepped out into an elaborately decorated lounge. There were several small tables surrounded by high-backed leather chairs dotted around the room, and in the back, a large conference table. A young woman came up to Chad and said, Mr. Baker, please follow me. Your meeting is about to begin. Chad nodded at the woman, smiled slightly with his team, and they all walked over to the conference table together. They took their seats and waited for several minutes. Did they forget about us? Jeb Kling asked. Nonsense, Chad said. This is just a standard power play that to intimidate us. Don't be invited. I know how to handle these sorts of people. A door opened, and a distinguished-looking man walked through. Chad's mouth dropped open. My goodness. That's Tom Harlan. Chad stood up and extended his hand. Mr. Harlan, this is truly an honor. I had no idea you would be personally overseeing this meeting. Tom looked down at Chad's outstretched hand. He didn't take it. Sit down, he said sharply. I've got some questions for you. The atmosphere around the conference table was tense. No one spoke for several moments. The eyes of the 5 business leaders shifted between Chad Baker and Tom Harlan. Finally, Chad was able to mutter out, yes, Mr. Harlan. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Sit down, Harlan said sharply. Chad sat like an obedient dog. The other men at the table barely breathed. Question number 1. Where are Mary and Ryan Quinn? Chad shifted uncomfortably in his chair. What now? Was that question too difficult to understand? No, sir. Good. Then let me ask you again. Where are Mary and Ryan Quinn? Why have they not been included in this meeting? Mr. Harlan, sir, with all due respect, may I ask why that matters to you? Because we do business with them. We have a standing contract with CLM Financial. We know Mary and Ryan, and we trust them. I don't know you, and I think you may have used their names to get a meeting with the Quinn organization, and then you cut them out of the process. And I don't like that kind of thing, Mr. Baker. I don't like it one bit. The other executives lowered their eyes and stared at the table. No one wanted to risk angering Tom Harlan, the number 2 man of the Quinn organization, one of the richest and most powerful organizations in the world. Chad looked around the room helplessly. There was a large mirror against the side wall. He caught sight of his reflection and realized that his face had turned ghost white. On the other side of that mirror sat Ryan, watching the whole scene play out while hidden from view. He was grinning from ear to ear. Chad cleared his throat. Sir, while it is true that CLM Financial was originally a part of this group, there were some issues that arose which caused us to reconsider our partnership. What issues? They were personal in nature. Personal? Personal. This is business, Baker. What do I care about your personal issues? Chad looked nervously at Jeb. Jeb, would you like to step in and explain the issue to Mr. Harlan? Jeb shook his head, continuing to stare at the table. Harlan glared at Chad. I'm waiting for an explanation, Mr. Baker. Yes, sir. It's... Could I maybe have a glass of water? No, Harlan barked. Everyone at the table flinched. From behind the mirror, Ryan put his hand over his mouth to keep from laughing. Chad cleared his throat again and continued.